Hey, good afternoon. I hope you're having a good weekend. I'd like to start off by talking about all the main parts of a computer. I'm going to focus on a computer called the Raspberry Pi. This will give me a good way to show all the parts that make up a computer and how small one can be. This is a Raspberry Pi. It's a very small computer that can perform all the functions of a regular computer. There are about four versions of the Raspberry Pi. I have an older version that cost about, I think it was around $5, and the newest version that costs like $40. Newer version has some better things like some USB ports for your mouse and your keyboard, anything that connects with a USB. Um, so the main parts of the computer are really three things. One of them is RAM. So the RAM on the Raspberry Pi is this little guy right here. It's got this little guy has 4 gigabytes of RAM, which is a lot for this little thing. But this is your typical stick of RAM to a laptop or to a computer. This is 4 gigs of RAM, and you could see the Raspberry Pi is pretty much the original Raspberry Pi is about the same size as a stick of RAM. But there's four little chips in there. That's pretty much your gig of RAM. One, two, three, four. Those are hidden behind the little sticker, but that's your typical laptop size of RAM, and it's amazing how much we've evolved. I mean, this is a whole computer, and this is a stick of RAM, so they're still about this size in your laptop or anything, but RAM, if you have problems like processing a lot of things at once, like if you're running a lot of programs at once, you want to try replacing your RAM. You can always upgrade it to 8 gigs, 16 gigs, whatever the max specs of are your computer. You could upgrade it to that. It's cheap and it's easy to replace. And it's the most typical way to upgrade your computer. The other main part to your computer is your hard drive. Now, for the Raspberry Pi, the hard drive is actually an SD card, so it's the same thing as what's in your phone. This little guy is pretty much your hard drive. And hard drives do typically fail when your laptop breaks. It's typically your hard drive or your motherboard. Now, these are relatively easy to replace, usually about 6 screws, and they pop right off. Put a new one in, you're good to go. And second of all, this thing is just as good as you can also upgrade it. So it's also good to upgrade your hard drive. So say you have 300 gigs and you're running out of space, you want to put 500 gigs, that would be an easy way. You could just upgrade your computer. You upgrade your hard drive and you pretty much have an upgraded computer. Now, the other main thing to a computer is the processor. Now, that's this guy. This is the thing you typically want to look at when you're buying a computer. The higher the number, the better the processor is. The laptop I'm using right now is a 2.9 gigahertz computer. I'm sorry, 2.9 gigahertz processor, so it's pretty big. Um, Also, you want to look at like the type of processor it is. It could be a Core 2 Duo, 4-core processor. That's how many cores are in the processor. Computers have evolved greatly from the time when a computer would fill the whole room. Now you can have a fully functioning computer that's the same size as your wallet for the price of a dinner for two, about $40. What most people don't realize is how easy it is to fix your computer when it breaks. There are only three things that can break, which are your hard drive, motherboard, or RAM. The only tools you need to replace any of these parts is a small screwdriver. You just take off the back of cover of your laptop and you have access to everything. There are many videos on YouTube which will show you how to replace your laptop or desktop. I hope this was a good way for you to think about how you can easily replace your laptop, and now you can see that it's only three main parts that are breaks. Have a good rest of your weekend and good rest of your day. Thank you.